The massive ship floated in space like a metal mountain. Admiral Korth stood on the bridge and looked at the small blue planet below. Earth. Such a tiny world. Such weak people. "Sir, we have reports from the scout teams," said Commander Rextos. He held a data pad in his clawed hands. His voice sounded worried. "Tell me," Admiral Korth said. He did not turn around. He kept looking at Earth through the big window. "The humans have sent us a message. They want to talk. They say they want to surrender." Admiral Korth smiled. His sharp teeth showed. "Of course they do. They know they cannot fight us." Rextos looked at his data pad again. "Sir, there is something strange about this message. It came too fast. We only arrived 3 days ago. How did they know we were coming?" "Fear makes people do fast things," Admiral Korth said. He walked to his command chair. "What else did the scouts say?" "The humans have no space fleet. Their weapons are very old. They use metal bullets and small rockets. They have no energy shields, no plasma guns." Admiral Korth laughed. "Perfect. This will be easy." Rextos did not laugh. "Sir, something feels wrong." The human who sent the message seemed too happy to give up. His name is Jake Miller. He speaks for something called the United Earth Government. "What is wrong with that?" "Sir, our intelligence says humans have many different governments. They fight each other all the time. How can one man speak for all of them?" Admiral Korth waved his hand. "When people see our ships, they stop fighting each other. They know they need to work together or die." Rextos nodded, but he still looked worried. "The human Jake Miller wants to meet with you. He says he can give you all the information you need. He says he wants to make this easy for everyone." "Good. Set up the meeting." 2 hours later, Jake Miller appeared on the main screen. He was a human male with brown hair and a big smile. He looked very calm for someone whose world was about to be conquered. "Greetings, Admiral Korth," Jake said. "Thank you for agreeing to talk with me. I represent the United Earth Government. We know we cannot fight your empire. We want to surrender now before anyone gets hurt." Admiral Korth leaned forward in his chair. "You are wise, human. Tell me about your military forces." Jake's smile got bigger. "Of course. We have about 2 million soldiers. Most of them have simple rifles. We have some tanks, but they are old. Our Air Force has about 5,000 planes. No space fighters at all." "What about your defenses?" "We have missile systems around our major cities, but they are not very good. They can only hit targets that move slowly. Your ships are too fast and too advanced." Rextos made notes on his datapad. Something bothered him, but he could not say what. "We also have our defense coordinator here," Jake said. "Would you like to meet her?" A woman appeared next to Jake on the screen. She had blonde hair and looked nervous. Her hands shook a little. "This is Lisa Brooks," Jake said. "She knows all about our military." Lisa looked at the screen with wide eyes. "Hello," she said in a quiet voice. I have all the files you need. I can show you where our bases are. I can tell you how many ships we have in our navy, Admiral." Korth smiled again. These humans were so scared they were giving him everything he needed. "Please show us," he said. Lisa turned to a computer behind her. Her hands shook as she typed. A map appeared on the screen. It showed Earth with red dots all over it. "These are our military bases," she said. "We have 150 of them. Most are small. The big ones are here, here, and here." She pointed to 3 dots. "We keep our best weapons at these 3 bases." "How many people at each base?" Admiral Korth asked. "The big ones have about 10,000 soldiers each. The small ones have maybe 500. Admiral Korth did math in his head. The humans had much fewer soldiers than he thought. This would be very easy. "What about your space defenses?" he asked. Lisa looked even more nervous. "We have some satellites with weapons, but they are old. We built them 20 years ago. They probably do not work very well anymore." Jake put his hand on Lisa's shoulder. "Do not worry," he said to her. Then he looked at Admiral Korth. "As you can see, we are not a threat to your empire. We just want our people to be safe." "Very good," Admiral Korth said. "We will arrive in 7 days. Have your military forces ready to surrender. Anyone who fights will be destroyed." "Of course," Jake said. We will be ready. The screen went dark. Admiral Korth turned to Rextos. See? Nothing to worry about. These humans are weak and scared. They will give us their planet without a fight. Rextos looked at his notes. Sir, does something seem strange to you? They gave us information very easily. Too easily. What do you mean? Most species try to hide their military strength. They make us work to find their bases. These humans just showed us everything. Admiral Korth stood up. That is because they are smart. They know they cannot win. Why make us angry by hiding things? Rextos nodded, but he still felt something was wrong. Sir, I would like to send more scout teams to Earth. I want to check the information they gave us. Fine, but do not take too long. I want to report to Emperor Vextar that we have conquered this world by next week. As Rextos left the bridge, he thought about the humans. Jake Miller seemed too calm. Lisa Brooks seemed scared, but something about her fear felt fake. And why would any species give away all their secrets so quickly? He decided to watch the humans very carefully. Something told him this conquest would not be as easy as Admiral Korth thought. Down on Earth, Jake Miller and Lisa Brooks sat in a room deep underground. The scared look was gone from Lisa's face. She was smiling now. Do you think they believed us? Lisa asked. Jake laughed. Did you see how happy Admiral Korth looked? He thinks we are weak and stupid. Good. Phase 1 is complete. Now we wait for their scout teams. How long until our real forces are ready? Lisa looked at a screen on the wall. Numbers and symbols moved across it. The fleet will be in position in 6 days. The ground forces are already hidden. The orbital platforms are charged and waiting. Jake nodded. Perfect. Let the Zephyrians think they are hunting sheep. Soon they will learn what it means to hunt wolves. Captain Meldor landed his scout ship in a field outside a human city called Denver. His orders were simple. Check the human military bases and see if they told the truth. He walked toward the city with 2 other Zephyrian soldiers. The humans had said they could visit anywhere they wanted. Jake Miller had promised full cooperation. Remember, Meldor told his team, we are here to confirm what the humans told us. Check their weapons, count their soldiers, look for any tricks. The first human they met was named Sam Carter. He was a thin man with dark hair who said he worked at a nearby farm. When he saw the Zephyrians, he looked scared and ran toward them. Please do not hurt me, Sam said. I have information. I can help you. Meldor stopped walking. What information? Sam looked around like he was afraid someone might hear him. The government lied to you. We have more soldiers than they said. There is a secret base in the mountains. They have better weapons there. Show us, Meldor said. Sam led them to a road that went into the mountains. As they walked, Meldor watched. Sam carefully. The human seemed nervous, but something felt wrong. Sam walked too easily for someone who was supposed to be scared. He knew exactly where to go. After 2 hours, they reached a fence with signs that said, Military Base Keep Out. Through the fence, Meldor could see buildings and vehicles. There, Sam whispered. That is where they keep the good weapons, tanks and missiles and things. Meldor used his scanner to look at the base. The scanner showed about 300 human soldiers and some vehicles. Nothing special, nothing dangerous. This matches what they told us, Meldor said to his team. Basic weapons, old vehicles. But as they watched, something strange happened. A large metal container fell off a truck. Instead of using machines to pick it up, 2 human soldiers walked over and lifted it with their hands. The container looked very heavy. It should have needed a crane or special equipment. Did you see that? Asked one of Meldor's soldiers. See? What? Meldor asked. Those 2 humans just lifted something that weighs at least 2 tons. Meldor looked again, but the humans were gone. You must be wrong. Humans are weak. Our files say they can only lift about 100 pounds. Sam was smiling now. Oh yes, humans are very weak. Those soldiers probably used some kind of machine. You just could not see it from here. Meldor nodded but made a note in his report. He would check this later. The next day, Meldor visited a human factory. A worker named Tony Garcia showed him around. Tony seemed friendly and helpful. He talked a lot about how humans made simple things like cars and computers. Our technology is not very good, Tony said. We are still learning. Maybe your people can teach us better ways. They stopped next to a Zephyrian communication device that Meldor had brought to stay in contact with his ship. The device had stopped working the day before. Tony looked at it. What is this? It is broken, Meldor said. We cannot fix it. I look at it, I like to fix things. Meldor let Tony examine the device. The human looked at it for about 30 seconds. Then he opened a panel and moved some wires around. The device started working again. There you go, Tony said with a smile. Just a loose connection. Meldor stared at the device. It was advanced Zephyrian technology. His own engineers needed special tools and hours of time to repair these devices. How did a simple human factory worker fix it in 30 seconds? How did you know how to do that? Meldor asked. Tony looked confused. I do not know. I just looked at it and saw what was wrong. Is that strange? Our engineers study for years to learn how to fix these devices. Oh, well, maybe it was just luck. That night, Meldor sent a report to Admiral Korth. He wrote about the heavy container and the fixed communication device. He said he thought the humans might be hiding their real abilities. Admiral Korth sent back a short message. Stop making excuses. Humans are weak. Do your job. The next day, Meldor went to a human military training area. A woman named Amy Johnson met him there. She said she was a scientist who studied weapons. I am so sorry, Amy said. I was told not to show you this place, but I think you should know the truth. She led him to a building full of computers and screens. Maps covered the walls. Numbers and symbols moved across the screens. This is our defense control center, Amy whispered. From here, we can see everything that happens around Earth. We have satellites and sensors everywhere. Meldor looked at the screens. They showed his ship and every other Zephyrian vessel in the solar system. The computers knew exactly where each ship was and how fast it was moving. This is very advanced, Meldor said. Amy looked embarrassed. Not really. We copied most of it from other worlds. We are not very good at making new things. One of the screens showed energy readings from Meldor's own ship. The numbers were perfect. Better than what Zephyrian sensors could do. How do you get such clear readings? Meldor asked. I do not know, Amy said. The computers just do it automatically. Meldor tried to ask more questions, but Amy said she had to go. Before she left, she accidentally dropped a datapad. When Meldor picked it up, he saw plans for weapons that looked more advanced than anything the Zephyrian Empire had. Oh no, Amy said, taking the pad back quickly. Those are just drawings, ideas that do not work. Please do not tell anyone you saw them. That night, Meldor sent another report to Admiral Korth. He wrote about the defense center and the weapon plans. He said the humans might be much more dangerous than they seemed. Admiral Korth replied with an angry message. Captain, Meldor, you are seeing problems where there are none. The humans are trying to make themselves look more important than they are. They want us to think they are strong, so we will treat them better. Do not fall for their tricks. On his last day on Earth, Meldor tested human weapons. The humans let him shoot their rifles and watch their tanks fire. Everything worked exactly as they had said. The weapons were simple and not very powerful, but something strange happened during the test. When Meldor fired a human rifle, it jammed after 3 shots. A human soldier named Dan Mitchell tried to fix it. Sorry, Dan said. These old guns break all the time. We do not have money to buy better ones. Dan worked on the rifle for 10 minutes. He looked frustrated and confused. Finally, he got it working again. There, Dan said. But it will probably break again soon. Later, Meldor saw the same rifle being used by other human soldiers. It never jammed once. It fired perfectly every time. Meldor also noticed that when humans thought he was not watching, they moved differently. They were faster and stronger. But when they knew he could see them, they acted slow and clumsy. One last strange thing happened. Meldor's energy weapon stopped working during the weapons test. Dan Mitchell offered to look at it. I do not know much about energy weapons, Dan said. but maybe I can help. Dan examined the weapon for a long time. He tried different things and looked confused. Finally, he shook his head. Sorry, I cannot fix it. It is too advanced for me. But that night, when Meldor returned to his ship, the weapon worked perfectly again. His engineers could not explain why it had stopped working or why it started working again. Meldor sent one final report to Admiral Korth. He wrote, Sir, I believe the humans are not what they seem. They are hiding their true abilities. I recommend we study them more before we attack. Admiral Korth's reply came quickly. Captain Meldor, you are reassigned to guard duty on the outer ships. Send me someone who can do this job properly. Meldor packed his things and prepared to leave Earth. As his ship lifted off, he looked down at the planet one more time. Something was very wrong here. The humans were playing a game, and Admiral Korth could not see it. On the ground, Sam Carter, Tony, Garcia, Amy Johnson, and Dan Mitchell met in a secret room. How did we do? Sam asked. Tony smiled. Perfect. The Zephyrian captain suspected something, but his commander does not believe him. Good, Amy said. The Admiral thinks we are weak and stupid. That is exactly what we want. Dan nodded. Phase 2 is complete. Now we wait for the main fleet to arrive. Are our people ready? Sam asked. Amy looked at a computer screen. The trap is set. When they come, they will find more than they expected. Admiral Korth stood in the war room of his flagship. Around him, holographic displays showed the Zephyrian fleet. 200 ships hung in space around Earth like metal sharks waiting to attack. Final reports from all scout teams, said Commander Rextos. He still looked worried, but Admiral Korth did not care anymore. Tell me, the Admiral said. The humans have exactly what they said they have. Simple weapons, weak defenses, no space fleet. Their total military force is about 2 million soldiers with basic equipment. Admiral Korth smiled. Perfect. How long? Until Emperor Vextar arrives with the main battle fleet? 2 days, sir. Good. We will begin the invasion as soon as he gets here. This will be the fastest conquest in Empire history. On Earth, the humans were putting on their biggest show yet. Ben Taylor, a human general, stood in front of news cameras in a place called Washington, D.C. He looked angry and frustrated. This is madness, Ben shouted at other human leaders. We cannot fight them. We should surrender now before they destroy our cities. Another human leader, a woman named Kate Wilson, argued back. We have to try to defend ourselves. We cannot just give up. Ben threw papers on the table. With what? Our tanks are 40 years old. Our planes cannot even reach their ships. We have no chance. The argument continued for an hour. Zephyrian spy satellites recorded everything. Admiral Korth watched the recording and laughed. Look at them, he told his officers. They are fighting each other instead of preparing to fight us. They are more afraid of each other than they are of us. What Admiral Korth did not know was that Ben Taylor and Kate Wilson were both human agents. The argument was fake. They were showing the Zephyrians exactly what they wanted to see. The next day, the humans put on an air show for the Zephyrian scouts. Kate Wilson was the pilot. She flew a human fighter jet and performed combat moves. Zephyrian Admiral Zekthon watched from the ground. Show us your best pilot, he had said. Show us what your Air Force can do. Kate climbed into her plane and took off. She tried to do a simple turn but almost crashed. She tried to fire at a target but missed completely. Finally, she attempted a landing but came down too hard and damaged the plane. Kate climbed out looking embarrassed. Sorry, she said. I am still learning. Our planes are hard to control. Admiral Zekthon shook his head. If this is your best pilot, we have nothing to worry about. What he did not see was Kate smiling as she walked away. She was actually one of Earth's best pilots. She could do moves that would amaze even Zephyrian pilots. But today she acted like she could barely fly. That same day, a human engineer named Dan Mitchell gave Zephyrian technical officers a tour of human facilities. He showed them factories, power plants, and research centers. This is our main computer center, Dan said. He looked proud but also embarrassed. It is not very good compared to what you probably have. The Zephyrians looked at human computers. They seemed basic and slow. When Dan tried to operate them, he looked confused and made mistakes. How do these work? Asked a Zephyrian engineer. Dan scratched his head. I am not sure. They break a lot. Sometimes they work, sometimes they do not. We are still learning how to use them properly. The Zephyrian engineer felt sorry for Dan. These humans had such primitive technology, but they were trying their best. What the Zephyrian did not know was that Dan was one of Earth's top computer experts. The computers he showed them were fake displays. The real human computers were hidden underground and were far more advanced than anything the Zephyrian Empire had ever seen. Meanwhile, a human diplomat named Nina Lopez was playing the most dangerous game of all. She secretly met with Zephyrian intelligence officers and pretended to betray her own species. I can give you information, Nina whispered to Commander Rextos, but you must promise to protect me when you take over Earth. Rextos agreed. He still felt something was wrong about this whole situation. Maybe this human could tell him the truth. What do you know? Rextos asked. Nina looked around nervously. The government is lying to you. We have more weapons than they said. There are secret bunkers under every major city. Each bunker has about 500 soldiers. Rextos made notes. What kind of weapons? Mostly the same as what you have seen. Rifles and small missiles, but we have more of them. Anything else? Nina bit her lip like she was scared to say more. There is a secret project. They are trying to build one big weapon, something that might be able to damage your ships. What kind of weapon? I do not know exactly, some kind of big cannon, but I do not think it works yet. They are still testing it. Rextos felt a little better. Maybe this explained why he felt worried. The humans did have some secrets, but nothing that could really threaten the Empire. Where is this weapon? He asked. Under a mountain in Colorado. But please, do not tell them I told you. They will kill me if they find out. Rextos promised to keep Nina's secret. He reported to Admiral Korth about the bunkers and the secret weapon. The Admiral was happy to finally have some real intelligence. See, Admiral Korth said. I knew the humans were hiding something, but bunkers with rifles cannot stop our fleet, and one experimental cannon is no threat to 200 ships. The next day, Emperor Vextar arrived with the main battle fleet. His ship was twice as big as any other vessel. It carried enough firepower to destroy an entire planet. Admiral Korth went aboard the Emperor's ship to give his final report. The Emperor sat on a throne made of metal and crystals. His red eyes glowed in the dark room. Tell me about this world, Emperor Vextar said. It will be easy, Your Majesty. The humans are weak and disorganized. They have simple weapons and no space defenses. Their leaders argue with each other instead of preparing for war. How many ships do they have? None, Your Majesty. They have never built a true spaceship. Their most advanced vehicles cannot even leave their atmosphere. Emperor Vextar nodded. And their military? About 2 million soldiers with basic equipment. They have some tanks and planes, but they are old and poorly maintained. Their pilots can barely fly. Their engineers do not understand their own technology. Any surprises? Admiral Korth thought about Rextos and his worries. One of my officers thought the humans might be hiding something, but our investigation found only a few secret bunkers and one experimental weapon. Nothing that can threaten us. Emperor Vextar stood up from his throne. Excellent. We will begin the invasion tomorrow. I want this planet conquered in 3 days. Yes, Your Majesty. That night, deep under the Earth's surface, human leaders met in a war room that the Zephyrians had never seen. Jake Miller sat at a table with dozens of other humans. Final status report, Jake said. Ben Taylor spoke first. All ground forces are in position. The Zephyrians think we have 2 million soldiers. We actually have 50 million, all hidden, in underground cities. Kate Wilson spoke next. The space fleet is ready. 3,000 ships are waiting in the asteroid belt. 5,000 more are hidden behind the moon. Dan Mitchell gave his report. All defensive systems are online. The orbital weapons platforms are charged. The planetary shields are ready to activate. Nina Lopez was the last to speak. Intelligence reports that the Zephyrians believe everything. We told them. They expect an easy victory. Jake Miller smiled. Perfect. Tomorrow, the Zephyrian Empire will learn what happens when you hunt humans. What about their spy satellites? Someone asked. Already taken care of, Kate Wilson said. We have been feeding them fake data for weeks. They see what we want them to see. And their scouts? Every human they met was an actor, Ben Taylor said. They never saw our real military. They never met our real soldiers. Jake stood up and looked at a display showing the Zephyrian fleet. Gentlemen, ladies, tomorrow we spring the trap. The galaxy is about to learn that Earth is not a planet of prey. We are a planet of predators. In space above Earth, Emperor Vextar looked down at the blue world and felt pleased. Tomorrow, he would add another planet to his empire. The humans would surrender quickly once they saw his power. He had no idea that every human on the planet below was waiting for him to make the biggest mistake of his life. The invasion began at dawn. Emperor Vextar gave the order from his throne room, and 200 Zephyrian ships moved toward Earth like a metal storm. Admiral Korth commanded the first wave from his flagship. Target the major cities, he told his weapons officers. Fire warning shots. The humans will surrender quickly when they see our power. The first energy beams lanced down from space toward New York, London, and Tokyo. Admiral Korth expected to see explosions and fires. Instead, the beams hit something invisible and bounced harmlessly into space. What happened? Admiral Korth demanded. Sir, some kind of energy shield is protecting the planet, his weapons officer reported. Our sensors did not detect it before. Admiral Korth frowned. The humans said they had no planetary defenses. Should we increase power? Yes. Use full strength. The Zephyrian ships fired again with their most powerful weapons. The energy beams hit the invisible shield and spread out like water hitting glass. Not one shot reached the planet's surface. On the bridge of his flagship, Emperor Vextar watched the attack fail. His red eyes began to glow brighter. Admiral Korth explained this. I do not know, Your Majesty. The humans never showed us any planetary shields. Find a way through them. Down on Earth in the hidden command center, Jake Miller watched the Zephyrian attack on his screens. Around him, human officers worked at computer stations. Shields holding at full strength, reported one officer. Good, Jake said. Let them waste their energy. Ryan, are our ships ready? Admiral Ryan Clark nodded from his station. All fleets are in position and waiting for your order. Not yet. Let them commit more ships first. In space, Admiral Korth ordered more vessels to attack the shields. Soon, 50 Zephyrian ships were firing everything they had at Earth. The eco-planet glowed with energy as the shields absorbed hit after hit. Sir, called a Zephyrian sensor officer. I am detecting something strange. What? There are objects moving behind the moon. Large objects. Admiral Korth looked at his display. Dark shapes were emerging from behind Earth's moon. As he watched, more and more shapes appeared. How many? He asked. Counting now, sir. 100, 500, 1,000. Sir, there are thousands of them. What are they? They appear to be ships, sir. Admiral Korth felt cold fear in his stomach. That is impossible. The humans have no space fleet. The dark shapes were moving now, heading toward the Zephyrian fleet. As they got closer, Admiral Korth could see that they were indeed ships. Human ships. And they were bigger than most Zephyrian vessels. Sir, his communications officer called out. We are receiving a message from the planet. Put it on screen. The face of Jake Miller appeared, but he looked very different now. His friendly smile was gone. His eyes were cold and dangerous. Greetings, Admiral Korth, Jake said. I hope you enjoyed our little performance over the past few weeks. What is the meaning of this? Admiral Korth demanded. The meaning is simple. You have been lied to. Everything we showed you was fake. Every weakness we demonstrated was an act. Every human you met was playing a role. Emperor Vextar's voice came over the communication system. Impossible. Our scouts confirmed your primitive technology. Jake's smile returned. but now it looked like the smile of a hunting wolf. Your scouts saw exactly what we wanted them to see. Let me introduce you to some of the actors in our little play. The screen split to show several humans. Admiral Korth recognized them all. Sam Carter, Tony Garcia, Amy Johnson, Dan Mitchell, and Nina Lopez. Sam Carter is actually Colonel Sam Carter, head of our intelligence division, Jake said. Tony Garcia is Dr. Tony Garcia, our chief technology officer. Amy Johnson is General Amy Johnson, commander of our orbital defense systems. Admiral Korth felt sick. And the others? Dan Mitchell is Admiral Dan Mitchell of our space fleet. Nina Lopez is Director Nina Lopez of our special operations. Every single human your people met was military personnel acting a part. On his throne, Emperor Vextar stood up in rage. You dare to trick the Zephyrian Empire? We dared and we succeeded, Jake said. Now let me show you what humans are really capable of. The human fleet that had emerged from behind the moon was now clearly visible. 3,000 ships of various sizes, all armed with weapons that glowed with deadly energy. But that was not all. More ships were appearing from the asteroid belt and from hidden positions throughout the solar system. Soon 8,000 human vessels surrounded the Zephyrian fleet. This is still impossible, Admiral Korth said. We monitored your planet for months. We saw no fleet construction. You saw what our computers told your sensors to see, Jake replied. We have been building this fleet for 20 years in hidden shipyards on the far side of the moon and in the asteroid belt. Emperor Vextar was furious now. Numbers mean nothing. Our ships are superior. Our weapons are stronger. Are they? Jake asked. Luke, would you care to demonstrate? A new human appeared on the screen. This was Luke Thompson, though the Zephyrians had never seen him before. Certainly, Luke said. Target the flagship's port weapons array. Minimum power. One of the human ships fired a single thin beam of red light. It hit Admiral Korth's flagship and cut through the armor like it was made of paper. The ship's left weapons stopped working immediately. Impressive, Luke said. Now, let us try. Full power on that small destroyer. Another human ship fired. This time the beam was thick and bright blue. It hit a Zephyrian destroyer and the entire ship exploded in a ball of fire. Admiral Korth stared at his screens in shock. That is impossible. Our armor can withstand any attack. Your armor is designed to stop energy weapons like yours, Luke explained. Our weapons work differently. We studied your technology for years and designed our weapons specifically to destroy Zephyrian ships. Emperor Vexitar was beginning to understand how badly he had been fooled. You planned this from the beginning. Of course we did, Jake said. The moment your scouts entered our solar system, we knew you would eventually come here. So we prepared a welcome party. Now came the ground assault. Zephyrian landing ships moved toward Earth's surface, expecting to find frightened humans with simple weapons. Instead, they found Grace Adams. Grace stood on top of a building in New York City as the first Zephyrian landing ship approached. She was wearing what looked like a simple human military uniform. In her hands, she held what appeared to be a normal rifle. The landing ship opened fire with its energy cannons. Grace jumped. She jumped 300 feet straight up, grabbed the landing ship with her bare hands and tore it in half. Colonel Zarion watched this from his command ship and could not believe his eyes. What was that? Sir, his sensor officer said. The human female just destroyed our landing ship without any weapons. That is impossible. Humans are weak. Grace landed on the ground and picked up her rifle. She pointed it at Zarion's ship and fired once. The rifle shot went through the ship's armor, through the bridge, and out the other side. The ship crashed. More landing ships approached other cities. In each city, they found humans like Grace, super soldiers who could jump impossible distances, lift incredible weights, and use weapons that could destroy any Zephyrian vehicle. Sir, Colonel Zarion's communications officer called out, all ground forces are requesting immediate evacuation. The humans they are not human. Back in space, Emperor Vextar was trying to understand what had happened to his perfect plan. Admiral Korth, order the fleet to retreat, he commanded. I cannot, Your Majesty. Admiral Korth replied. We are surrounded. It was true. The human fleet had completely encircled the Zephyrian ships. There was no way out. Jake Miller appeared on the screen again. Now you see the truth, Emperor Vextar. You came here thinking you were hunting prey, but you are not hunters, you are the prey. What do you want? Emperor Vextar asked. First, we want you to recall every Zephyrian ship that is attacking other worlds. Second, we want you to release every species you have conquered. Third, we want you to understand that Earth is not a planet you can ever threaten again. And, if we refuse, Jake's smile became even more frightening, then we will show you what happens when humans get angry. As if to prove his point, human ships throughout the solar system began powering up weapons that the Zephyrians had never seen before. Energy readings showed power levels that should have been impossible. Mia Rodriguez, captain of the human flagship, opened a channel to all Zephyrian ships. This is Captain Rodriguez of the Earth Defense Force. You have exactly 1 hour to surrender. Any ship that tries to fight will be destroyed. Any ship that tries to run will be hunted down. Emperor Vextar looked around his throne room. His advisors were all staring at their screens in terror. His fleet was trapped, outgunned, and completely helpless. For the first time in his life, the mighty emperor of the Zephyrian Empire was afraid. Admiral Korth, he said quietly, prepare to surrender. Emperor Vextar sat in a small room aboard the human flagship. His hands were bound with metal chains that were stronger than anything the Zephyrian Empire could make. Across from him sat a human man named Eric Hayes. Welcome aboard the Earth. Defense Ship Titan, Eric said. I am Director Eric Hayes of Human Intelligence. We have much to discuss. Emperor Vextar looked around the room. Everything was made of materials he did not recognize. The walls seemed to glow with their own light. The air itself felt different, charged with energy. This ship, Vextar said, slowly. It is beyond anything my empire has ever built. Eric nodded. The Titan is one of our older ships. We built it 15 years ago. Our newest vessels are much more advanced. Impossible. My scouts said you had no space technology. Your scouts believed what we wanted them to believe, Eric said. Let me tell you the real story of Earth, Emperor Vextar. Eric touched a wall panel and the room filled with holographic images. They showed Earth, but not the Earth that Zephyrian scouts had seen. This is our real planet, Eric said. Watch carefully. The images showed massive cities floating in Earth's clouds, underground complexes that stretched for miles, orbital platforms around the planet that bristled with weapons, ships moving between Earth and hidden bases throughout the solar system. We have been watching your empire for 50 years, Eric continued. We knew you would come here eventually. You always attack worlds that appear weak and defenseless. 50 years? Vextar could not believe it. But our intelligence said humans only developed space travel 20 years ago. Eric laughed. We have had space travel for over 200 years. We have colonies on 12 different star systems. We have been exploring the galaxy since before your empire was even formed. The holographic images changed to show human settlements on distant worlds, cities under alien suns, ships that looked like they were made of pure energy. Then why? Vextar started to ask. Why did we pretend to be primitive? Eric finished the question. Because that is what humans do best. We study our enemies. We learn their weaknesses. We wait for the perfect moment to strike. A new voice spoke from behind them. May I join this conversation? They turned to see a woman entering the room. She had short red hair and intelligent eyes that seemed to see everything. This is Dr. Chloe Parker, Eric said. She designed our entire deception operation. Chloe sat down next to Eric. Emperor Vextar, I have studied Zephyrian psychology for 30 years. I know exactly how your people think. You know nothing about us, Vextar said angrily. I know that Zephyrians are naturally arrogant, Chloe replied calmly. I know that you always underestimate species you consider inferior. I know that you never expect deception from those you plan to conquer. She touched the wall panel and new images appeared. These showed Zephyrian battles against other species. Every conquest follows the same pattern, Chloe explained. You send scouts to study a world. You look for military strength and technology. If the species seems weak, you attack with overwhelming force. That is efficient, Vextar said. It is also predictable. We designed our entire plan around your predictable behavior. We showed you exactly what you expected to see. Weak humans with primitive technology and no unity. Eric leaned forward. Every detail was planned, Emperor. The nervous diplomat who gave you too much information. The clumsy pilot who crashed her plane. The scared scientist who accidentally revealed our defenses. The helpful engineer who struggled with basic technology. Even the traitor who gave you intelligence, Chloe added. Nina Lopez fed you just enough real information to make you feel confident, but not enough to threaten our real plans. Vexitar felt sick as he realized how completely he had been fooled. The whole time you were manipulating us. From the moment your first scout ship entered our solar system, Eric confirmed. We tracked every vessel. We monitored every communication. We knew your attack plan before your own generals did. The door opened and more humans entered the room. Vextar recognized some of them from the communications during the battle. This is Alex Turner, our head diplomat, Eric said, introducing, a tall man with dark hair. He will be handling the surrender negotiations. And this is Zoe Campbell, our chief historian, Chloe said, pointing to a woman with gray hair and kind eyes. Alex sat down across from Vextar. Let us discuss the terms of your surrender, Emperor. Terms? Vextar asked. You hold all the power. You can destroy my fleet whenever you choose. True, Alex said. But we are not monsters. We prefer to solve problems without unnecessary killing. He touched the table and a holographic document appeared in the air between them. These are our requirements, Alex said. First, you will immediately recall all Zephyrian military forces from every world you are currently attacking. Vextar read the document. This would end dozens of our campaigns. Second, you will grant independence to every species your empire has conquered. They are free to govern themselves as they choose. That would destroy the empire, Vextar protested. Third, Zephyrian ships are forbidden from entering the solar systems of any species without their explicit permission. You are demanding the end of our expansion. Alex nodded. Yes, we are. Zoe Campbell spoke for the first time. Emperor Vextar, may I tell you something about human history? Vextar looked at her with suspicion. What? Humans have been warriors for thousands of years. We have fought each other in countless wars. We know every possible way that intelligent beings can hurt each other. She touched the wall and images appeared showing human conflicts throughout history. But we also learned something important, Zoe continued. Peace is better than war. Cooperation is better than conquest. That is why we stopped fighting each other and turned our attention to the stars. You are lying, Vextar said. If humans are such great warriors, why do you want peace? Because we are great warriors, Eric answered. The greatest warriors in the galaxy. And that is exactly why we choose peace. Alex leaned back in his chair. Emperor, you have two choices. Accept our terms and live in peace with the rest of the galaxy, or reject our terms and face the consequences. What consequences? Eric's expression became very serious. Every Zephyrian world would be conquered within 1 month. Your entire fleet would be destroyed. Your empire would cease to exist. You would commit genocide? No, Chloe said. We would remove your government and military, but we would not harm your people. Zephyrian civilians would be free to live their lives in peace. Vextar stared at the humans around the table. You could destroy my empire, but you offer me terms instead. Why? Because that is what civilized beings do, Alex said. We believe every species has the right to exist and grow, even yours. But only if you stop trying to conquer everyone else, Eric added. Vextar looked at the surrender document again. Everything about his life, his empire, his entire world, view was crashing down around him. How long have humans been this powerful? He asked. Zoe smiled. We have always been this powerful, Emperor. We just chose not to show it. Why reveal yourselves now? Because your empire was becoming too dangerous, Eric said. You were planning to attack 12 different species this year. We could not allow that to continue. Alex stood up and walked to a window that showed the captured Zephyrian fleet. Your ships will be returned to you once you sign the agreement. Your crews will be free to go home. But remember, Emperor, we will be watching. Watching for what? To make sure you keep your promises, Chloe said. Humans are very good at watching. We have eyes and ears throughout the galaxy. Vextar realized another truth. You have been infiltrating other empires too. For decades, Eric confirmed. We know about every major power in the galaxy. We know their strengths, their weaknesses, their plans. And if they threaten innocent species? Vextar asked. Alex's smile was cold and dangerous. Then they will receive the same treatment you are receiving today. Vextar picked up the electronic pen that would sign the surrender document. His hand shook as he held it. What guarantee do I have that you will honor this agreement? He asked. You have the word of humanity, Alex said. And that is worth more than all the weapons in your fleet. Vextar signed the document. As soon as he finished, alarms sounded throughout the ship. What is that? Vextar asked. Eric looked at a display on the wall. Another empire is attacking a peaceful world in the Andromeda sector. The Krellin Republic is invading 3 planets simultaneously. What will you do? Alex was already standing up. The same thing we did to you. Chloe, how long to prepare another deception operation? The Krellins are easier to fool than Zephyrians, Chloe said. I can have a plan ready in 6 hours. Good. Eric, move our agents into position. Already happening, Eric replied. Vextar watched the humans prepare for another operation with efficient, deadly precision. You are going to trick them like you tricked us? If necessary, Alex said. We prefer peace, Emperor. But if someone threatens the innocent, they will discover what humans are truly capable of. As the human ship prepared to leave, Vextar was transferred to his own flagship. Admiral Korth met him at the airlock. Your Majesty, what are our orders? Vextar looked back at the human ship one last time. It was beautiful and terrible like all human things.